All right, folks, coming up.
It's the moment you've been waiting for the week.
It's like how I like to wrap up a week, a nice glass of wine. But we actually have someone who is a sommelier, very much knows the wine industry, but also is helping others based on his own personal experience, helping others to have a better life. So looking forward to that. You ready for that, Romain?
I am. It's the only reason why I agreed to do it this week.
Is that all about that wine on Friday at 4:45?
All right, everybody, the perfect way to wrap up certainly this trading year and this day, the global wine market. We're going to talk about it because the size, roughly $489 billion in 2021, estimated to achieve a market size of more than $825 billion by 2030. A lot of wine, we know that. And our next guest knows the market well. He is the former sommelier of the University Club here in New York City. He's a restaurateur. He's also using his own experience to improve the lives of others. We are so delighted to have with us YannickBenjamin. He's sommelier, as we said, co-founder of Wheeling Forward, which works with and help really recently disabled people who lack a support system and resources to obtain the services they need. He is the co-founder of Wine on Wheels. Contento Restaurant, so much you do. Welcome, and
thank you for having me. Such an honor, yeah.
You know, it is good to have you here. We're going to talk about all of this. It's something Romain has been talking about
looking forward to
all week. Tell us about your organization.
Yeah, so Wine on Wheels was started about 10 years ago. I was injured in 2003. I'm a paraplegic. I was in a car accident.
You were a runner before. You're really active.
Super active, very physical. And, you know, what we noticed, or I noticed along with the co-founder of the nonprofit, is that there are other individuals in the same rehab unit, and they just weren't getting the same love, care, and support as we were. And so we said, what if we start an organization where we act as a secondary family, where we provide them to help them achieve their objectives, and they're not like the forgotten people. And so that's the population that we really focus on. It's really just being able to use our resources to help others that have less.
And your restaurant, or at least the newest restaurant,
yes.
I mean, takes that to heart there. I mean, the way you built out that restaurant,
yes.
It is designed to make sure that it is all-inclusive.
100%.
Yeah.
The name of the restaurant, Contento, it's up in East Harlem on 111th Street. And, you know, counter seating, so it means that all of us can all go to the bar together and we're all looking at each other eye to eye, which is really nice. So there's not this like I'm looking up at you, and I think that's really nice. We have adaptive flatware for those that have, you know, neurological issues or they're arthritic with their hands, and they're beautiful flatware. So that goes a long way, and menus in Braille. So just those simple little things, you know, it really empowers people and makes them feel really safe and comfortable to go to a place where they go, oh my God, I'm provided with the resources to have a great dinner or lunch with dignity.
They feel like they belong.
They feel like they belong. That's exactly right.
Is New York City an accessible place? I mean, think about it from the perspective of the subway, right?
Right.
And how few subway stations here actually have elevators?
I mean,
the reason I ask is because this is in New York City.
Yes.
It's a place that I think many people would say is, well, accessible in some respects, but not in many.
Well, just to give you perspective, I live in the Bronx. I live a couple of blocks away from Yankee Stadium. And the two closest train stations for me to get here to the studio, there's the one on 51st in Lexington, and then there's the one on Columbus Circle. I got off on Columbus Circle. I'm very blessed and grateful that I have the physical capability to roll myself over here and all that, but it could be certainly challenging. Or what if I got off that station in Columbus Circle and the elevator is broken, which happens, and not everyone is brave enough or crazy enough like me to take the escalator. But yeah, certainly, listen, New York City is still one of the greatest cities in the world. I'm born and raised here, but there's still a lot of work to be done. I would say that now we do have a lot more wheelchair accessible yellow cabs. Uber now, you can actually order a wheelchair accessible van where you can just roll in. So there is improvement that's being made. But yeah, we still have a lot more work to do. That's for sure.
What could be done more and better?
Well, for sure. I mean, listen, we have about 100,000 people just on Manhattan Island that are full-time wheelchair users, right? And I think, you know, just simply like curb cuts. Every city block, every corner should have a curb cut. I can't tell you the amount of times when it snows, right? I'm waiting for the bus, but guess what? When they piled all the snow, so now the bus driver can't pick me up. So again, just having more self-awareness.
Something we take for granted, right?
Well, but you know, listen, I was a non-disabled person up until the age of 25 years old, and I had cousins that were disabled. But even I wasn't aware of those things, and it does take time. But I do see that, like, especially with this next generation, you know, this the inclusivity, the intersectionality is really happening more and more, and it's a really great thing. But certainly we can speed it up more.
When we talk about the idea, and I'm told we are going to get to wine at some point here.
We better be.
In all seriousness, though, we talk about sort of what makes a restaurant the gathering place. We talked about during the pandemic, we had so many discussions about how the closure of restaurants, for a lot of us, kind of destroyed the community, because these restaurants, for a lot of us, are our community, the local places where you can go and you can meet with people. So to have a place that is inclusive, where you can bring all your family members and everyone there can enjoy wine, food, whatever else, that's obviously been a big part, I think, of what has made Contento so successful. And I've been there. I should just full disclosure, I've eaten there. It's a great place. And but also, I wonder if you're starting to see other restaurants sort of, I guess, get hip to this idea.
For sure. And I've had other restaurateurs and other people in the business reach out to me asking for advice and, where'd you get your menus in Braille, or what could we be doing better? I mean, which is a great thing, because we don't want to be known as the first and only restaurant that's, taking this initiative. And the most important thing is not to be the last one. Right? And so please, by all means, every restaurant, any business, copy us. By all means, that's what we want. And listen, if you can't get emotionally incentivized, financially incentivized, I'll give you some numbers. There's over 61 million Americans that have a disability, right? That means that's 1 in 4, which is a huge number, right? And within that population, there's over $500 billion of spending power. And so at Contento, we have been able to prove, you'll come there tonight, and there's Peter Slayton, a very good friend of mine, who's part of the blind community, and he's got his guide dog, Inga. We've got a couple of wheelchair users, so on and so forth. And they're coming there because they know that our staff is trained, there's empathy, but there's love, and that goes a long way.
You're going to expand?
Yeah, well, that's the goal, of course. I mean, I just opened up a wine store on 47th Street in 10, so that's already keeping me busy with my wife.
So let's talk. So what do we got here? What do we got here?
So we have, listen, we're, holiday season, bubbles, sparkling wine. We have 3 different styles of sparkling wine, so I think it's a great example.
Where should we start?
We're going to start from right to left, actually. So right over here, you're right, and then, so we're going to start off with the Prosecco, the Zardetto right here.
I love this Prosecco.
Listen, this is
you've already had this.
Cheers. No, I want
cheers to you.
But tell us what.
So very simply,
Zardetto?
Zardetto, exactly. So we're in northeastern Italy, right outside of Venice. And by the way, these vineyards in this part of Italy, we don't talk enough about them. They're absolutely gorgeous. It's breathtaking. So you should definitely go check it out. This is made from the Glera grape. So this is a sparkling wine. It's not a champagne, but a sparkling wine that you can use if you wanted to do Bellinis, mimosas, do cocktails with, or just drink it on its own. Versatility is the key here, and it's incredibly affordable, and it over-delivers for the price.
All right, I'm hearing that we have about 3 minutes.
It's a sparkling wine. And so this is Italy. This is also sparkling.
Yeah. So
is this from Spain?
So this is from Spain. Okay. Now we're in Catalonia. Okay. So we're right outside of Barcelona. Okay. And the grape here is called Macabeo. A bit more creamier, a bit more intense, higher acid, more on these kind of apple notes to it. And Cava is a designated appellation only used for
drier.
Spain. It is dry. Yeah. Oh yeah, gosh, yeah. Bone dry for sure.
What is this, Los Dos?
Yeah, Los Dos is the producer. Yeah. And so wonderful cava. About $13, wine.com, Drizzly.
That's one thing I find, that you can find really good things to drink that are very, very affordable. I think we used to think we have to spend so much money, right, for a good bottle of wine.
Winemaking is at its highest level right now. I mean, it's very hard to find a bad bottle of wine, to be honest with you.
What do we got here?
So Parigot is a producer. The name of the wine is Monochrome. Parigot is a producer, 5 generations, 100% Pinot Noir. This is a Crémant, so done in the same style as Champagne, but only done in Burgundy. So it's out, but it's still French. It's a rosé,
right?
Yeah, it's very soft and creamy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. Earlier this year, we went out to the Champagne region in France, Cabernet, and we got to try. It wasn't this quite thing, but there's a lot different types. Because we're so used to in the U.S. to kind of just it's either really sweet stuff, really dry, and there's so much in between.
There's a lot of different styles, and I urge everyone to try them out for sure.
What's interesting with champagne, too, is I think it used to be like a celebration, right? A celebratory moment. But I find you go to a bar and...
Now it's just brunch.
No, it is. It's exactly the case.
It's true. You're right for mimosas.
I feel like we have so much to be grateful for.
Yes.
Sorry, it's not because I've had 3 little sips, but I am a cheap date. But when you think about looking forward, what are your hopes for 2023?
Well, from a personal standpoint, it's definitely put my, my frustrations in check, So, taking the pause. That's the key. Taking the pause. And again, certainly, gosh, these last 2 years, between, the struggles of opening up the restaurant during the pandemic in 2021, then the wine store. I'm so grateful to have the wine store in the same building that I was born and raised in, with my parents living right above it. So I get to see them every day, and I'm the luckiest person in this world, in this universe.
A lovely legacy. Well,
and we're lucky to have you here today. This
I'm
was,
very blessed to be here.
Great way to end the week. Great way to end the show.
Yannick, thank you.
Thank you.
So appreciate it. YannickBenjamin, of course, sommelier, co-founder of Wheeling Forward. Check them out. You can find them online. Guys, that's a wrap.
Cheers. Cheers to 2022 and hopefully much better 2023 for us.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And of course, to everyone who watched us all year long, we really appreciate your viewership. You're a big part of the reason that makes Bloomberg TV what it is. We'll be back in 2023. Please join us then. This is Bloomberg.